Hey, bud, you got a spud?
No, fool, but I got a cool.
Now, I'm a feller with a heart of gold, with the ways of a gentleman, I've been told. The kind of a feller that wouldn't even harm a flea. But if me and a certain character met, the guy that invented the cigarette, I'd murder that son of a gun in the first degree. Now, it ain't 'cause that I don't smoke myself, and I don't reckon they hinder your health. I've smoked them all my life, and I ain't dead yet. But nicotine slaves are all the same at a petting party or a poker game. Everything's gotta stop while they have that cigarette.
Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death.
Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make him wait, but you just gotta have another cigarette. Now, in a game of chance the other night, old Dame Fortune was doing me right. The kings and the queens, they just kept on coming around. Then I got a full and I bet it high, but my bluff didn't work on a certain guy. He just kept on a-raising and a-laying the money down. Now, he'd raise me and I'd raise him. I sweated blood, I got a sink or swim. He finally called and then didn't raise the bet. I said, "Ace is full, pal, how about you?" And he said, "Well, I'll tell you in just a minute or two, but right now I just gotta have a cigarette."
Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death.
Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make him wait, but you just gotta have another cigarette. The other night I had a date with the cutest little girl in the 48 states, a hybrid uptown fancy little dame. Now she said she loved me, and it seemed to me that things were just about like they ought to be, so hand in hand we strolled down Lover's Lane. She was oh so far from a chunk of ice, and our smooching party was going real nice, so help me Hannah, I think I'd have been there yet. But I give her a kiss and a little squeeze, and she said, "Tex, excuse me please, but I just gotta have another cigarette."
Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself to death.
Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make him wait, but you just gotta have another cigarette. Now, a fella asked me the other day what I liked about the West. So I got together my arguments to prove that it's the best. I called the mayor, the chief of police, even the governor's home to get the facts to back me up, and here's what they said on the phone. We got buffalo, deer, T-bone steaks, fruits, fish, and fowl. Wine and grapes, figs and dates, a Chamber of Commerce smile. Liquid sunshine, legal moonshine, Reno, Frisco, Tahoe. Man, you name it, and if we ain't got it, we'll get it.
That's what I like about the West. That's what I like about the West.
You can prove that you're a man drinking fruit juice from a can.
Ride 'em, cowboy, ride that pony west.
You can take a gal to a picture show, but the place to build morale is to take her for a moonlight stroll behind the old corral. Things down there are rootin' and tootin', there's fightin' and feudin' and stuff. A prowlin' stranger can cause a shootin', for enough of a thing's enough.
That's what I like about the West. That's what I like about the West.
Steal a gal, they're on the loose. Steal a horse, you'll get the news.
Ride 'em, cowboy, ride that pony west.
I met a gal at a rodeo and we took a ride that night. We saw a stack of new mown hay, man, you can see my plight. She said let's sit, so we schmurred and purred, and finally to top it off, I got myself a mate for life, man, I just couldn't help myself.
That's what I like about the West. That's what I like about the West.
Get a ranch, start laughing new, instead of pitching hay, pitch woo!
Ride 'em, cowboy, ride that pony west.
If you want to spread the news, there's a lot of ways to use, but the ordinary ways are much too slow. There is just one thing to do, here is my advice to you. Confidentially, it's the fastest way I know.
Don't telephone, don't telegraph.
Tell a woman and the news will get around.
Telephone, don't telegraph.
Tell a woman and she'll really go to town. All my life I didn't think it was wrong to take a drink, till one day my gal found out and I was sunk. Seems a woman spread the word, and the next thing that I heard, they were saying I was in the gutter drunk.
Call a cop. Telephone.
No, don't.
Telegraph.
Never, never.
Tell a woman if you want to advertise.
Don't telephone. Don't telegraph.
Tell a woman and she'll build it up with lies. Now my gal and I would spark every evening after dark, and one night I said, please be my honeybee.
Buzz, buzz.
Later on I changed my mind, but it didn't work, I find, 'cause she slapped a breach of promise suit on me.
Don't telephone, don't telegraph.
Tell a woman and she'll tear your heart in two. Don't telephone,
don't telegraph.
Tell a woman, but you're crazy if you do. That's old Jackson. Yeah. Saw the cutest blonde one day dancing in a cabaret, and she swung her hips around from A to Z.
A, B, C, D, or not.
It didn't mean a thing if you haven't got that swing, so she turned around and took a swing at me.
Oh.
Don't telephone,
don't telegraph.
Tell a woman and she'll put you in your place.
Don't telephone, don't telegraph.
Tell a woman and she'll slap you in the face. I come home from work the other night, dog tired as I could be. I saw a gray fedora where my hat ought to be. Now, man, I'm not the jealous type, but it sure appears to me when I come home I ought to see my hat where my hat ought to be.
Suspicion, suspicion, it's got its hold on me. When a green-eyed monster gets ya, he'll never set you free.
Like the other morning I left the house, I started to laugh and sing. When I got about halfway down to work, I got to thinking about something. So I doubled back home and opened the door to see if I'd got a letter. Now, I'm not the least bit jealous, you know me, man, I know better. Well, I kinda tippy-toed in, you know, just to see what I could see. I saw a great big black cigar where my pipe ought to be. On the breakfast table there was bacon and eggs and toast and orange peel. When I got up, my wife gave me a dish of cold oatmeal.
Suspicion, suspicion, it's got its hold on me. When a green-eyed monster gets ya, he'll never set you free.
My wife says that I'm jealous. Well, you know I ain't, of course. Say, when I come home with a hair on my coat, I gotta show her the horse. But like the other morning, she got up and left the house about 5. Said she felt like taking a walk in the hills, felt good to be alive. Well, I didn't give it very much thought, but I did notice just for fun that the nylon on her left leg had started a little run. Now, she come busting back home at 9. I know I wasn't tight, but the nylon run I'd noticed now was over on the right.
Suspicion, suspicion, it's got its hold on me. When a green-eyed monster gets ya, he'll never set you free.
Been thinking about it lately, with prices the way they go. How come it was we eat so much and our grocery bill's so low? Understand, I'm not complaining, say I should be filled with joy. But I just got to thinking about that good-looking grocery boy. So just in case I had a clue, I thought I'd set a trap. When I come home unexpectedly, he was sitting in my wife's lap. She smiled at me a sickly smile, and what do you think she said? Look, honey, I caught a burglar, and that grocery boy dropped dead.
Suspicion, suspicion, it's got its hold on me. When a green-eyed monster gets you, he'll never set you free. Suspicion, 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 he'll never set you free.
Ring, ring, ring the banjo loud while we dance a polka proud. Ring, ring, ring the banjo till we rock the room and rafters fill. Ring, ring, ring the banjo loud while we dance a polka proud. Ring, ring, ring the banjo till we rock the room and rafters fill.
If you don't talk too much, you won't get into trouble. But if you talk too much, your trouble will be double.
Man, you're telling me I got in trouble talking? Me, of all people. Why, I was just walking along the street and met a pretty girl, and she said, let's stop in some cafe and get me a bite to eat. And I said, who are you talking to? She said, you. And I said, who? She said, you. And I said, me. She said, yes. And I said, no, lady, I don't. Well, you see, we never met. Well, I'd like to, but I'm a little short. I mean, it's a long way to pay. No, I couldn't afford. No, you see, but I took her, though.
If you don't talk too much, you won't get into trouble. But if you talk too much, your trouble will be double.
Now, when we was through eating, she just sat there talking, yap, 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 like women will. And the waiter came over to the table and handed me the biggest bill, and he said, that's for you. And I said, who are you talking to? He said, you. And I said, who? He said, you. And I said, me. He said, yes. And I said, no, you got the wrong $18.50. Not for what? A cup of coffee and a half? Well, no, we didn't even have a... No, I won't pay it. Call the manager. I paid him, though.
If you don't talk too much, you won't get into trouble. But if you talk too much, your trouble will be double.
Now, I don't know exactly how it happened, but that gal sure hooked me for life. The next thing I knew, I was standing in front of a preacher, and he was saying, do you take this girl to be your loving wife? And I said, who are you talking to? He said, you. And I said, who? He said, you. And I said, me. He said, yes. And I said, no, don't be so, I hardly know. I mean, I bought her, I mean, kids to have her mama wouldn't like, no, she's too young. I married her, though.
If you don't talk too much, you won't get into trouble. But if you talk too much, your trouble will be double.
Now, when we got home that night, I was so tired I was wishing I was dead. But she was feeling fine and said, honey, it's 2 o'clock. It's time for us to go to bed. And I said, who are you talking to? She said, you. And I said, who? She said, you. And I said, me. She said, yes. And I said, oh, honey, all right.
If you don't talk too much, you won't get into trouble. But if you talk too much, your trouble will be double.
Way down yonder in Tennessee, there's a little old homestead, RFD. Mountain folks gather from miles around just to hear that 8-beat rock the ground. Such rockin', talking, doing the talking boogie. On an old guitar that's so mellow and sweet, he sits and picks that old 8-beat. There's just one thing he has to talk to play. I don't know how come he just rocks that way. Such rockin', playing, doing the talking boogie. Now if you want to get your enjoys, listen to me. Just get your cell phone down to Tennessee. Hear the guitar picking, rockin', talking boogie. Now the man just has to play the boogie and talk, 'cause if he don't talk, his fingers balk. He says, bring me some chicken and good home brews, possum and taters and ham bone too. Such eating, talking, doing the talking boogie. Now when the moon comes up, he just won't go to bed. Grabs his guitar, beats time with his head. His feet keep a-tapping, his fingers keep a-moving. It's the 8-beat sleep, you know he's a-grooving. Such sleeping, snoring, dreaming, talking boogie. Now if you want to get your enjoys, listen to me. Just get your cell phone down to Tennessee. Hear the guitar picking, rockin', talking boogie. Got a little gal about 5'3", she says, pick it, Daddy, play the boogie for me. When the moon comes up and the stars begin to shine, she says, do that boogie till I lose my mind. Such loving, cuddling, loving, talking boogie. Now if you want to get your enjoys, listen to me. Just get your cell phone down to Tennessee. Hear the guitar picking, rockin', talking boogie. Just a pair of blue eyes and the goldest hair. They got me walking on nothing, way up in the air. Just a pair of blue eyes and a heavenly smile sure have got me all spruced up in the latest style. I feel as moody as a mugwump in a tizzy all the time, jumpy as a jump up in a comic valentine. I'm woozy as a wigwag, just as dingy as a bell. Everything that happened to me is swell. Just a pair of blue eyes and the goldest hair. They got me dreaming and thinking we'd make a wonderful pair. Just a pair of blue eyes and the goldest hair. They got me walking on nothing, way up in the air. Just a pair of blue eyes and a heavenly smile sure have got me all spruced up in the latest style. You know, I'm blue just like a bluebird, warbling out a tune, the darndest thing you ever heard. I sound just like a loon. I'm punchy as a punch bowl and happy as a clown. Nothing in the world can get me down. Just a pair of blue eyes and the goldest hair. They got me dreaming and thinking
we'd make a wonderful pair.
Foolish tears, oh foolish tears, stop falling. You know you can't bring her back to me. Foolish tears, why do you keep recalling the days in the happy used to be? She never could believe I really loved her. She knows I wasn't true to her before. Foolish tears, why go on thinking of her? You know we're not wanted anymore. Why do you dim my vision? You're causing my heart to break in two. She's already made her own decision, and no one should know it more than you. Why do you keep reminding me about her? Must I go on remembering through the years? Can't you see we must live on without her? Please help me forget her foolish tears. Foolish tears, why go on thinking of her? You know we're not wanted anymore. There's a bluebird on your windowsill, there's a rainbow in your sky. There are happy thoughts your heart's to fill, near enough to make you cry. With every tear you've washed away all the things you've kept inside. You count your joys this lovely day, and you wonder why you cried. There's a bluebird on your windowsill, there's a rainbow in your sky. There are happy thoughts your heart's to fill, near enough to make you cry. There's a bluebird on your windowsill, there's a rainbow in your sky. There are happy thoughts your heart's to fill, near enough to make you cry. And if by chance your heart grows sad, you still can smile again. With every tear you've ever shed comes the sunshine after rain. There's a bluebird on your windowsill, there's a rainbow in your sky. There are happy thoughts your heart to fill, near enough to make you cry. There's a bluebird on your windowsill, there's a rainbow in your sky. There are happy thoughts your heart to fill, near enough to make you cry, near enough to make you cry.